Apply. Have you ever wondered what lies behind the walls of history's greatest mysteries? The stories that shake the very foundation of what we were taught in school. Apply. From secret societies whispering in the shadows to governments hiding truths in plain sight and ancient civilizations leaving behind questions no scholar can answer. Tonight, Apply. We're stepping into a world where fact and fiction collide. These are the conspiracies that refuse to die, the secrets that live on like whispers in the dark. Apply, and the myths that may hold a shocking truth waiting to be revealed. But before we peel back the layers of secrecy and unlock the walls of mystery, make sure you like, subscribe, apply, and comment below so you never miss the untold stories that history tried to keep hidden. Apply. The whispers of secret societies have traveled through centuries like shadows creeping along the walls of time. From dimly lit chambers where oaths were sworn in secrecy, apply to the grand halls of power where decisions shaping nations were made. The idea that unseen hands guide history has always captivated the human imagination. Apply. The Freemasons, often described as the architects of hidden knowledge, are said to have left symbols etched in stone, scattered across capitals and monuments. Apply, as if embedding their presence into the very foundation of civilization. From the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill to the geometric precision of ancient structures, apply. The belief that Masons held knowledge passed down from the ancients has long fueled speculation. Apply. Were they merely builders of stone and community, or keepers of truths too dangerous to reveal? Then comes the infamous Illuminati, a name that still sparks chills and fascination. Apply. Born in the shadows of 18th century Europe, this secret order was rumored to infiltrate governments, churches, and even revolutions. Their supposed mission to control thought, power, apply, and progress, silently steering humanity toward an unknown destiny. Conspiracy theorists claim the Illuminati's influence runs through modern politics, entertainment, and finance. Apply, painting them as puppet masters of the world stage. Every gesture by a world leader, every hidden triangle in a music video, apply, becomes evidence in a larger puzzle that some insist connects back to this elusive brotherhood. Could it all be coincidence? Apply, or are we glimpsing the fingerprints of a force determined to stay invisible? The lure of these societies isn't just their secrecy, but the way their legends brush against real events. Apply. In revolutions, wars, and great social upheavals, whispers always emerge: someone behind the curtain, someone scripting the chaos. Apply. Washington, D.C.'s street maps are said to hold hidden Masonic designs. Some point to the French Revolution, the founding of America. Apply. Or the shaping of Europe's borders as moments where secret networks tip the balance. Even in today's age of technology, apply. Rumors flare that Silicon Valley owes part of its rise not only to innovation, but to unseen backers with connections stretching back through history. What drives this belief? Apply. Perhaps it's the haunting idea that history's turning points are never truly random, and yet mystery deepens when secrecy blends with symbolism. Ancient rituals, cloaked initiations, apply. Hidden handshakes. These elements of secret societies give their myths a chilling realism. Historians argue that the Masons were simply a fraternity. Apply. The Illuminati, a short-lived group dissolved centuries ago. But the fascination lingers because symbols, unlike words, cannot be disproven so easily. They remain carved into stone. Apply. Printed on currency, hidden in architecture, inviting speculation from every curious eye. The moment one tries to dismiss the legends, apply, another strange alignment or obscure document emerges, breathing life back into the myth. Apply. Perhaps the real power of secret societies isn't in controlling nations, but in controlling imaginations. Their stories refuse to fade. Apply, as if they thrive in the very act of being doubted. Each generation revives them, connecting the shadows of the past with the uncertainties of the present. Whether truth, myth, apply, or a tantalizing blend of both, these societies remind us of an uncomfortable possibility that what we see in history may only be the surface. Apply, while the real decisions, the ones that shape the world, were made in silence behind locked doors by faces we will never know. Apply. The year was 1969 when millions of people around the world watched in awe as a grainy black and white image flickered across their television screens. Apply. A human being was taking his first steps on the surface of the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, words etched into history forever. Apply. But almost as soon as Neil Armstrong's boots pressed into the lunar dust, doubts began to take root. Apply. Was this monumental event truly the triumph of science and exploration, or the greatest performance ever staged? The moon landing debate has haunted history for decades. Apply. Blurring the lines between truth and myth in ways that still spark arguments today. For those who believe the landing was real, the evidence seems undeniable. Apply. The Saturn V rocket thundered into the sky, its roar shaking the earth beneath it. Astronauts carried out experiments on lunar soil, planted the American flag. Apply, and returned with samples that scientists have studied for years. And yet, for skeptics, the questions keep coming. Apply. Why do some photographs from the mission show shadows falling in different directions as if multiple light sources were at play? Apply. Why does the American flag appear to ripple in the footage when no air or wind exists on the moon? And why do some stars seem to vanish from the blackness of space behind the astronauts? Apply. The skeptics argue that in the midst of the Cold War, the United States had everything to gain by faking the moon landing. Apply. The space race against the Soviet Union wasn't just about science, it was about power, prestige, and proving supremacy on the world stage, with tensions running high. Apply. Some claim that Hollywood, NASA, and even master filmmakers could have collaborated to create the most convincing illusion of all time. After all, apply. If the world believed America had conquered the moon, then the victory would be psychological as well as technological. But the deeper the doubt goes, the more tangled it becomes. Apply. Astronauts who risked their lives swear by what they experienced. Moon rocks have been tested and verified by laboratories around the world. Apply. Reflectors placed on the lunar surface during the Apollo missions still bounce back lasers from Earth to this very day. And yet conspiracy theorists counter with chilling confidence. Apply. Could such evidence also be fabricated? Could it all have been a masterstroke of deception designed to silence the skeptics and secure America's place as a superpower? Apply. The fascination lies not only in the claims but in the human need to question. If mankind's greatest leap could be faked, what else could be a lie? Apply. The debate isn't just about lunar dust and rocket ships, it's about trust, secrecy, and the thin line between reality and illusion. For some, apply. Believing the landing was staged offers a sense of control in a world full of uncertainty. For others, apply. It is an insult to the bravery of the astronauts who risked their lives for the mission. Yet no matter how much evidence scientists provide, the whispers refuse to die. Apply. Perhaps that is the true legacy of the moon landing debate. Beyond the photographs, beyond the endless arguments, lies a deeper truth that humanity is drawn to mystery. Apply. We crave stories that challenge the official narrative, stories that make us look twice at what we thought we knew. Apply. Whether the moon landing was the greatest achievement in human history or the grandest illusion ever pulled off, it remains a symbol of hope, of skepticism. Apply. And in the eternal battle between truth and myth, the sky was clear on July 2, 1937, when Amelia Earhart, the daring aviator who had already captured the world's imagination, apply, set off on one of the final legs of her attempt to circumnavigate the globe, flying alongside her navigator, Fred Noonan, in a twin-engine Lockheed Electra. Apply. She was last heard somewhere near Howland Island in the vast Pacific Ocean. A few words crackled over the radio, words of uncertainty, words of struggle, and then silence. Apply. A silence so profound it still echoes nearly 9 decades later. Apply. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart is not just a story of aviation, it is a mystery that has grown into one of the greatest conspiracies of modern history. For many, apply. The simplest explanation has always seemed the most likely. She ran out of fuel, crashed into the Pacific, and was swallowed by the unforgiving sea. Thousands of miles of open water. Apply. No clear landmarks and the limits of 1930s navigation. It was a recipe for disaster. The U.S. Navy launched one of the largest search operations in history. Apply. Scouring the ocean for signs of the plane, but no trace was ever found. And it is precisely this absence of evidence that has fueled theories far beyond the ordinary. Apply. Some insist that Earhart survived the crash and landed on a remote island. The island of Nicomerouro, formerly known as Gardner Island, has long been a focal point of speculation. Apply. Bones were once discovered there, along with artifacts like a woman's shoe and remnants of what appeared to be a camp. Could Amelia have lived out her final days stranded? Apply. Waiting for a rescue that never came, or were these fragments merely coincidences given new life by the desire to solve an unsolvable riddle? Apply. Others believe her fate was not left to chance at all. One of the most enduring theories suggests Amelia was captured by the Japanese military. Apply. Who at the time controlled large stretches of the Pacific. Some locals claim to have seen a woman resembling Earhart held on Saipan. Apply. And declassified military documents have been interpreted, sometimes stretched, to hint at the same. Was she accused of spying under the guise of her flight? If true, apply. Then history's golden aviator may have met a far darker end than the world was ever meant to know. And then there are the more secretive, almost cinematic claims. Apply. Whispers suggest Earhart was recruited by U.S. intelligence and that her world flight was a cover for reconnaissance of Japanese territories. Apply. Did she vanish because her mission was classified, her story rewritten to serve national interests? Could her disappearance have been deliberate? Apply. Her true fate buried beneath layers of government secrecy. Each theory seems to add another brick to a wall of mystery that grows taller with time. Apply. What keeps this story alive is not just the fascination with a missing plane, but with Amelia herself. She was a symbol of courage, defying the boundaries set for women in her era. Apply. Soaring into the skies when few dared. To accept that such a powerful figure could vanish without a trace is almost unbearable, so humanity fills the silence with possibilities. Apply. Conspiracies and what ifs. In the end, Amelia Earhart's story is not only about where she went, but why we still chase her shadow. Apply. Perhaps we search because she represented something larger than life, freedom, ambition, defiance, and mysteries like hers remind us of how fragile even the brightest legends can be. Apply. Her last flight was more than an attempt to circle the globe. It was a leap into the unknown, and maybe, just maybe, apply. The unanswered questions she left behind are the very reason she remains immortal. Stretching across the Atlantic Ocean between Miami, Bermuda, apply, and Puerto Rico lies a patch of sea that has swallowed countless ships, planes, limbs, and lives. The Bermuda Triangle, a place sailors have feared for centuries, apply, where navigation instruments spin wildly, radio signals fade into silence, and vessels vanish without leaving a trace. For as long as humans have braved its waters, apply, this mysterious region has been blamed for disappearances that defy reason. Is it simply treacherous seas, storms, and human error, or is there something more lurking in the deep? Apply. Something science has yet to explain. The legends go back hundreds of years. Apply. Christopher Columbus himself wrote in his journal of strange lights dancing on the horizon as he sailed through the Triangle in 1492. Apply. His compass behaving erratically as if controlled by unseen forces. Since then, hundreds of ships have reported unusual occurrences in the region. Some were massive cargo vessels. Apply. Others tiny fishing boats, but too many never made it back. Their last signals often came in broken transmissions, distress calls cut short, coordinates that never matched reality. Apply. And then silence. Entire crews vanished, leaving behind only unanswered questions. Perhaps the most famous case is Flight 19, December 1945, 5 U.S. Apply. Navy bombers disappeared while on a routine training mission over the Triangle. The pilots radioed in confusion. Apply, saying their instruments had failed and they no longer recognized the ocean below them. They believed they were hopelessly lost. Hours later, all 5 planes vanished without a trace. Apply. Even more chilling, a rescue plane sent to find them also disappeared. Its crew lost forever. No wreckage was ever discovered. To this day, apply, the story of Flight 19 is one of the Triangle's darkest mysteries. Over the years, explanations have ranged from the scientific to the supernatural. Some researchers point to violent, apply, unpredictable weather systems, hurricanes, rogue waves, and underwater methane gas eruptions that could sink a ship in seconds. Apply. Others believe magnetic anomalies disturb compasses and navigation, steering vessels off course. These theories offer comfort, grounding the Triangle's mysteries in natural causes. Apply. But for every logical explanation, there's another account that refuses to be explained away. Survivors who made it through speak of compasses spinning in circles. Apply. Strange fogs enveloping their ships and skies glowing with unnatural light. And then, of course, come the more fantastic theories, the whispers that refuse to die. Apply. Could the Bermuda Triangle be a gateway to another dimension, a rip in the fabric of time and space where ships and planes slip through to another world? Apply. Some link it to the lost city of Atlantis, suggesting powerful ancient technology still hums beneath the waves, interfering with modern machines. Others point to extraterrestrials. Apply, arguing the Triangle is an interstellar hotbed where UFOs take what they need and leave humanity puzzled in their wake. Apply. What makes the Bermuda Triangle endure as one of history's greatest conspiracies is not only the number of disappearances, but the silence that follows. Wreckage is rarely found. Apply. The ocean yields no answers. Families are left with nothing but questions that echo louder with time. Even when scientists dismiss the myths, the stories remain too haunting. Apply, too persistent to ignore. Perhaps the truth is that the Bermuda Triangle is both myth and reality, dangerous seas where storms, currents, apply, and human mistakes weave together with legends to form an unshakable mystery. And yet, when another vessel sails into those waters, apply, when another plane charts its course that's an invisible triangle, there's always a lingering thought, what if? Apply. What if the triangle really does hold secrets we're not meant to uncover? What if every disappearance is another piece of a puzzle humanity will never solve? Apply. It is that whisper of uncertainty that keeps the legend alive, an endless question mark carved into the ocean itself. In the heart of ancient Egypt, apply. On the edge of the great Mediterranean once stood a treasure unlike any the world has ever seen, the Library of Alexandria. It was not just a building of scrolls and shelves, apply, but a vault of human knowledge, a monument to curiosity itself. Historians believe it housed hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, the secrets of medicine, mathematics, astronomy, apply, literature, and philosophies collected from across Greece, Egypt, India, Mesopotamia, and beyond. It was said that any ship docking in Alexandria was required to surrender its writings, Apply, which were then copied and stored. Imagine the wisdom of centuries gathered in one place, preserved for all time, and yet, apply. What happened to this wonder of the ancient world remains one of history's most haunting mysteries. The official story streak speaks of fire. Some blame Julius Caesar, who, apply during a military campaign in 48 BCE, may have set flames that spread into the Great Library. Others point to later conflicts centuries after Caesar. Apply when invading armies swept through Alexandria and left destruction in their wake. But even here, the details blur into legend. Some records say only a portion of the library was lost. Apply. Others whisper that it burned to the ground, its scrolls reduced to ash. And yet, if such an immense treasure truly perished, where are the charred remnants? Apply. Why does history offer no clear account of how, when, or why the greatest collection of knowledge simply vanished? Apply. The uncertainty has opened the door to theories that stretch far beyond fire and accident. Apply. Some scholars suggest the library's contents were hidden, spirited away by secret groups who recognized their power. Apply. Could fragments of the lost knowledge be buried beneath the sands of Egypt, locked inside sealed tombs or hidden chambers waiting to be discovered? Apply. Others speculate that scrolls from the library found their way into private collections, feeding secret societies that used the wisdom for their own designs. Apply. If the teachings of advanced civilizations, forgotten sciences, or even technologies far ahead of their time were preserved, who might be guarding them now? Apply. The loss of the library is often described as humanity's greatest tragedy because of what it might have contained. Apply. What if texts on medicine held cures for diseases we still battle today? What if scrolls of ancient engineering revealed blueprints for inventions centuries ahead of their time? Apply. What if records of civilizations long gone told truths that could rewrite our understanding of history? Apply. The destruction of knowledge is more than the loss of words on paper. It is the silencing of voices, the extinguishing of possibilities. Apply. It is as if a wall was built between what humanity once knew and what it would be allowed to know. And so the myth grows layer by layer. Perhaps the library was not destroyed at all, will apply, but deliberately erased. Some even suggest that powerful rulers, fearing the knowledge it contained, may have ensured its disappearance to control what people could and could not learn. Apply. In this light, the mystery of Alexandria is not just about a lost building. It is about censorship, secrecy, apply, and the eternal struggle between those who seek knowledge and those who fear it. Today, the story of the library continues to captivate because it symbolizes both hope and loss. Apply. It reminds us of the boundless thirst for discovery that defines humanity and of how fragile knowledge can be in the hands of time, politics, and war. Whether reduced to ash, apply, hidden away in secret vaults, or scattered into the corners of the world, the Library of Alexandria stands as a riddle carved into history. Apply. And behind that riddle lies the possibility that humanity once touched truths too extraordinary to survive and too dangerous to be remembered. Throughout history, apply, the deaths of powerful leaders have never been accepted as mere accidents of fate. Assassinations strike at the heart of nations, rewriting destinies in a single violent moment. Will apply. Yet behind the official stories, behind the carefully crafted explanations, lies a cloud of suspicion that refuses to fade. When a figure as influential as John F. Apply. Kennedy is gunned down in broad daylight, or when a ruler as mighty as Julius Caesar is stabbed by his closest allies, questions erupt like aftershocks. Who truly stood to gain? Apply. Who pulled the strings? Were these assassinations acts of lone individuals or carefully orchestrated plots hidden in the shadows of history? Take Kennedy, for example. On November 22, Apply 1963, shots rang out in Dallas, Texas, changing America forever. The official story named Lee Harvey Oswald as the assassin, a lone gunman perched in a book depository. Apply. Yet from the very beginning, many believed there was more to the story. Witnesses swore they heard shots from multiple directions. Apply. The infamous magic bullet theory, suggesting a single bullet caused multiple wounds in both Kennedy and Governor John Connally, has been dissected endlessly. Apply. And the Zapruder film, a shaky home movie that captured the fatal moment, only deepened the sense that the official explanation was too neat, too convenient. For decades, apply. Whispers of CIA involvement, mafia connections, and even foreign powers have surrounded the case. Could one man truly have altered the course of history? Apply. Or was he merely a pawn in a game much larger than himself? Long before Kennedy, another leader's fate echoed through time. Julius Caesar, apply, the Roman general who declared himself dictator for life, met his end not at the hands of an enemy, but from senators he called friends, stabbed 23 times on the Senate floor. Apply. Caesar's murder was justified as an act to save the Republic, but the conspiracy behind it, dozens of powerful men working together, was more than political theater. Apply. It revealed a timeless truth. Assassinations are rarely random. They are deliberate moves in battles for power, planned in secrecy, executed in blood. Apply. The death of Caesar was not just the end of a man, it was the dawn of an empire, for in eliminating him, his enemies paved the way for Augustus and Rome's transformation. Apply. From Lincoln's death in a theater to Martin Luther King Jr.'s shooting on a Memphis balcony, every assassination leaves behind an uneasy silence. Apply. Official investigations attempt to close the book, to stamp the word solved on crimes that shook the world. Yet public suspicion always lingers. Apply. As if people instinctively sense the curtain has not been fully pulled back. Were these assassins truly acting alone? Apply. Or were they the tip of a hidden blade wielded by forces with everything to gain? Governments, intelligence agencies, political rivals all become suspects in the public mind. Apply. And sometimes secrecy surrounding classified documents or withheld evidence only deepens the belief that the truth is far stranger and far darker than what we are told. Apply. The fascination with assassination conspiracies endures because they are more than history. They are reminders of the fragility of power. Leaders rise, nations rally behind them. Apply. And in one violent instant, all of it can collapse. But when the details don't align, when evidence vanishes, when too many questions are left unanswered, apply. These events transform from tragedy into legend. They become stories where history and mystery are forever entangled, leaving us to wonder not only about who fired the shots, apply, but about the unseen hands that may have guided them. Apply. Perhaps the real conspiracy is not whether these leaders were killed by lone actors or hidden cabals, but whether the full truth was ever meant to be known.